Okay, Skope TV on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We have got an incredible band on the line today, a band by the name of FYB for your brother, and I got my man John on the phone. John, what's happening?
What's happening? How are you doing? Glad to be here.
So, where are we talking from today, and what have you been doing this weekend?
This weekend, we've been working on some scratch tracks, and we're coming out of Aiken, South Carolina, and we've trying to pick the top 10 songs for our third recorded album, and we're just going through all the tracks right now. That's been our weekend.
Sweet. Now, give us a brief history of how FYB came together and the meaning behind For You Brother.
For You Brother, it's how we came about. There was a movie that they were filming, and actually they were filming it at my house, and it's called Who's Your Caddy? And one of the producers of that movie asked me to write a song for him. So we did a song called Nickel Please, and I had to find a rapper. So a friend of mine looked on the internet, and we found Deep Soul School, and I hired him to do the song, and that's been 5 years ago. We've libraried over 200 songs since.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, how does creating music in South Carolina help inspire creativity and keep that musical passion alive?
I think the history in our state, there's a lot of bands that have come from this area. You got Hootie and the Blowfish, Steve Morris, who was in the top 10. He was about 10 years probably the best all-around guitar player in the world. He currently plays with Deep Purple. He's played with Kansas, the Steve Morris band. It's just incredible people. The history, James Brown. There's just a lot of history from this area. So we're excited to be here, and it's FYB, of course, is something pretty different. We're throwing together rock, rap, and just a little bit of all the genres together. And it's exciting. We've got a lot of good stuff happening for us right now.
Well, that's for sure. We really love your sound, and that actually goes right into my next question. Who is a pioneer that you guys respect that came before you for merging rock and rap music?
For the guitar side, it's of course mine is Van Halen. So most of mine goes to Van Halen, Steve Morris, people in that line. For as far as Soul School goes, he's more, I think, Prince. A lot of Prince, the time. He does a lot of stuff that's really funny. It's comical. So I guess it would go back to groups like that, the Funkadelics, a lot of the older bands that we've just kind of watched over the years and paid attention to and incorporated that into what we're doing.
That's cool. Now, what would you say comes first? Is it the instrumentals or is it the lyrics?
I do all the instruments, and this is how we do this, is I'll sit down and we'll get a beat. Sometimes Deep will just clap his hands, and I'll start playing the guitar. Usually we do each song, it takes about 2.5 hours, and we scratch pad it. Then a friend of mine, Sean, is the one who would do the live drums for us. So we'll do all the music first, then he sings, and we do the drums. Actually, the very last thing we do is the drums.
Ah, that's cool. Now, I know you mentioned this before. You guys have made over 200 songs in under a year together, which is incredible. But how do you make sure that you're putting out quality instead of quantity? And are all 200 tracks for sale on CD Baby or iTunes?
No, we've got 17 that are for sale, and basically the 200 are just, they're scratches. So we'll go through and whatever, ours is more of an emotional thing, so whatever we're feeling, that's what we play. So we'll just take those ideas and do them, and those we take about 2.5 hours to do each one. We just put them on CDs, put them away, then we'll go back, like now, we'll pull out that 200 and listen to them. We'll pick the top 10, and that's what we'll begin to work on.
Oh, that's cool. Now, do you get to play live in your area? And if so, what venues do you frequent?
Right now, we're not. I've just recently purchased a complete JBL PA system, Allen and Heath mixing board, complete lighting system. So we're in talks with people about doing that. We're hoping to be able to do some gigs with Mother's Finest. I think we would work perfect with them. So if they come into the area, I've got some connections with that. We've talked to East Coast. We've talked to a couple of booking management companies recently. We're talking with Capitol Records right now. We're in talks with Calling America publishing company. So everything's kind of coming together, and I've not pushed playing out just to see what's going to happen and see what direction they take.
That's great. That's really great. Now, would you say that you guys are friends besides being music partners? And what do you guys like to do when you're not doing music, per se?
Soul School, in the 5-6 years I've been writing with him, he stays in the studio all the time. All the time. He's, I guess, a sports. He does like sports. As for me, it's just I really don't have a lot of hobbies outside of just playing and trying to come up with new stuff, new sounds. I have a good friend of mine. I'll say a little shout out to Robbie Mackerel. He makes pedals actually, and he comes up with a lot of cool sounds and stuff. So he's working with me on doing what we call the dash line, and it's he's got a delay coming. I'm getting ready to go to a studio in Atlanta on Tuesday and Wednesday this next week to meet with some producers for the new FYB, our third album that we'll be doing. So he does stuff that will help with the sounds, and that's pretty much it. We're just pretty much just music guys.
That's cool. You got to respect that. Now, you guys did a sweet track, I think for what, a local Mercedes-Benz dealership. Is that correct?
That's correct. We've done two. That one that you're referring to is Rolling on Dubs, and there's two versions of that. One version, we'll give a shout out to the Wooten Brothers. They played on that version, one of the versions that you can find online and actually check those guys out playing with us. We're doing a third song with Mercedes right now. They're planning to shop it out nationally, internationally. So we're real excited about that. That can open a lot of doors for us. So that's what's happening right now with Mercedes.
Now, if other corporate sponsors want to do something with you, how do they get in touch with you guys? Facebook or email? How does that work?
Yeah, we'd love for anybody and everybody to join us on Facebook. It's just FYB, and there's a website. It's www.fybmusic.com.
Cool. Now, I love your song, Diva Girl. That song is real hot. Who inspired you to write that song, and when did you guys record that?
You still with me, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of shut off for a second. Actually, the song is inspired by my wife, and Soul School calls her Diva Girl, and he's always called her Diva. So we sat down, and he said, "Look, man, let's do a song about Diva Girl." So I gave him some of my insight, and he just took it from there, and he's got a great imagination. But actually, it's written about my wife.
Oh, cool. Did she take that as a compliment? Was she flattered?
She was very flattered. She does modeling, so that was right up her alley.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, as a music fiend, I buy music constantly through Zune, through the Microsoft Zune store, and I have a subscription as well through Napster on my tablet. So it's constant. What I want to ask you, music industry-wise, what business model do you think is better for the music industry, or do you think that that's how it's going to go from now on?
I think it's probably going that direction, but it's twofold. The reason why I'm going more for the corporation and the record companies is because to really get into terrestrial radio, that's the proper avenue to go. It's a lot harder to just doing it yourself. I'm part of the Berkeley School of Music in Boston, part of their alumni, and I've taken all business courses there. And it can be done, of course, there's artists on a daily basis doing it. I just think to try to get into really out there through radio, riding down the road, listening to the radio if you don't have satellite, it's going to be instrumental to do it that way. Plus, they still have the backings. Most of them are doing 360 deals. But I guess at the end of the day, help is help. So if you get somebody that's sponsoring you or helping you, it's helping you grow and franchise and move out where more and more people can hear what you got. And it just gets you out into the world. So I guess the more the merrier to me.
That's sweet. Well, I got one last question. We want to go out on a bang on this Sunday afternoon. This is really a lot of fun, John. So let the Skope listeners know all over the world what's coming up for FYB for you, brother, and where you guys at online, and just lay it on the people. Give me about 20 seconds what you need the people to know about you guys and where you're coming from and what's coming up.
All right, what's coming up is we do plan on working some tour dates to get out to be able to play and open up some shows for some other artists. Our third album, we're real excited about it. It's going to be very, very produced. We're talking to a couple producers in Atlanta that I'm not going to mention their names because we haven't chosen one to go with, but they have track records of really doing some huge artists. So we're real excited about that. it's just exciting. Our songs are really good. They're inspired. They're up to date. They're new. They're new sounds. It's just really going to be exciting. So we hope to get out there and play for you guys and get on the road.
That's great. That's really great. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time on this Sunday afternoon. Skope TV listeners, just another incredible interview. John, we thank you. FYB for you, brother. Check them out, and we'll see you guys soon.